Hi, this is Sunil here from Dubai. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I thank Serbian Association for Quality and its partners EOQ, EFQM, and others to organize this wonderful event. I'm here to talk to you today about the gift of quality we all, you all can give to make this world a better place. You see, like you, I've also been giving a lot of my time, energy, passion to the corporate world. I've helped organizations become more competitive, more efficient, effective, implement standards. Now I'm here today to make United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, also known as global goals, famous. I'm sure some of you must have been very heavily involved in it, actively engaged in it, and for some it may be a new subject. You see, long back I read the autobiography of Dr. Joseph Juran, and in it says, thank your lucky stars, you quality professionals. Your field is about to grow. And this presentation is all about that. I'm here to inspire you, if you're not already, to commit and contribute your knowledge, experience, capacity, passion to realize the vision of global goals that no one is left behind. Just before I get into the UN Sustainable Development Goals, just let's set up the context here. You see, as of last year, about 700 million people go to bed hungry every day, and yet we got 2 billion people who are obese or suffer from food related diseases. While having said that, $900 billion worth of food is wasted. Almost one third of our food is wasted from farm to fork. Now, as Professor Amartya Sen, Nobel laureate, he says it very well. You see, starvation and hunger is the characteristics of some people not having food enough to eat. It is not the characteristic of there not enough food to eat. It is the way we are organized, the food system, that is what is contributing to this hunger and challenge. Let's look at the conflict in the world. Today, almost 100 civilians die or killed in armed conflict, and yet we have treaties and regulations and laws to protect that. On the other side, if you look at, about 2 billion people lack the safely managed drinking water. They don't have drinking water to drink. And about 4 billion people lack safely managed sanitation facilities at home. Unbelievable. Out of 7.5 billion world population, 4 billion people lack this. We have been talking about using our natural resources responsibly, yet our material footprint has gone up from 73 billion tons to 86, almost 15% rise from 2010 to 17. And this is in spite of so many odd campaigns we hear and corporates adopting all that. And then, of course, to end poverty by 2030, still we got 6% of the population uh, in extreme poverty, living in extreme poverty. Extreme poverty is $1.9 a day. Now, the COVID has pushed about 80 million more people into the extreme poverty, extremely unfortunate. Given this backdrop, in 2015, 193 nations signed a declaration and a global framework on sustainability for people, planet, and prosperity was created and agreed upon. As you see, there are 17 goals. These are very ambitious. These are transformative. It has very clear objectives, targets, KPIs. The language we quality professionals and management professionals are well versed with. Now, these goals range from no poverty by 2030 to good health by year 2030, to renewable energy by 2030, sustainable cities, having robust institutions, peace and justice, climate action, life below water. It covers all aspects of our life, of our people, planet, and prosperity. Whether it's not only human being, it's about our earth, it's about flora, about fauna, about animals, about birds, about life below water, about fishes, about octopus, everything. It's a holistic, beautiful, amazing framework. Now, this whole framework, as you see, is split around prosperity, people, and planet. Now, the beautiful part is working together as partnership. You see, that underpins the entire framework. It's not only for the government, it's ordinary people, for corporates, for academicians, for scientists, for universities, for laboratories, for NGOs, all to get engaged, involved to make this world a better place. Just to give you a small highlight, these goals are not in isolation, they are interconnected. If we have a gender equality, we get good job and economic growth and quality education. And a lot of girl child are deprived of education. If we have clean water and sanitation, it promotes good health. So there's an interconnectivity between the various goals. We do this well, it impacts here. So sometimes cause and effect relationship. Now, as I said, these 17 goals have 169 targets with 230 indicators. Just to give you an idea, let's say goal number one. Goal is to end poverty in all its form everywhere. Now 1.1 target is by year 2030, eradicate extreme poverty for all people everywhere, which is currently measured at $1.25 a day. Now the KPI is, the indicator is proportion of population below the international poverty line by gender, by age, by employment, by distribution by rural, urban. So there's no ambiguity. It's very well clearly defined. Let me expand a bit on any one of the couple of goals to have a greater understanding of what really it is. Now, to know where we are today, it's good to look back where we are coming from. Now that time horizon need not be 10, 20 years, can be 30, 50, 100 years, because it takes time for the world to civilization to improve. Now, if you look at the people living in extreme poverty in 1820, only 1 out of 10 were kind of little well off. 9 out of 10 lived in extreme poverty. Now, even in 1950s, some of you may be born around that time, 75% plus, around two-thirds of the world lived in extreme poverty. And way back even in 1970s, 45% of the world lived in poverty. So elimination of poverty has been the recent phenomena. You see, these are pre-COVID numbers. Every day, you'll not believe this, every day 130,000 people were coming out of poverty for the last 28 years, every day. And around the same time, the population grew 7 times. So imagine, it's all the result of huge inventions, discoveries, developments, productivity, performance improvement, making goods cheaper, easily available, and reaching out to the last mile. So world has made good progress, but still, even now, good amount of people are living in extreme poverty. Now let's go to quality education. Is in 1800, only the very, very few elite, kings, majesties, rulers, rich people had education. 9 out of 10 couldn't read and write. There was no literacy. And that was true even in 50s. I mean, almost 40% plus of the world didn't read and write. And today we take it for granted. It's a norm, actually, that one will be literate. So huge progress has been made in the world, and still around 8-10% of the population is deprived of education. So I just wanted to give a little context of where we are and how these goals were formulated. You also may be interested, where are we today? These goals were signed in 2015, and we are 5-6 years into it. And this is the last decade of action. So I looked at some of the reports, goalkeeper report from Bill Melinda Gates Foundation, then there is from Sustainable Development Network and from other parts. Now, this is where we are. In 2015, this is the overall index where the world is. In 2015, we were at 64 point something, and we made progress, though it lagged the ambition and the target. The progress was much slower. But in 2019, all the improvement which was happening, the COVID has brought a big setback to the world on all aspects, social, economic, environment, and all the countries. So in 2022, this report just came out only 4 or 5 days back. So it started declining. So we have a greater challenge to really pick it up. So from this report, you can dive deeper into a country. Just to give you an idea, these are the top 5 nations doing quite well on SDGs. Finland, Sweden, Denmark, these Scandinavian countries always end up being in the top 5, top 10, no surprises over there. So they've made a huge good progress around all the 17 goals, scores from 85 to 80. Now, let me show you the lower end of the spectrum. Central African Republic, 38. Somalia, 45. Nigeria, 48.9. You'll find here, I don't know if you can see clearly, there are some gray areas. That means there are no information on some of the SDGs from these countries. And also, there are about 25 odd countries, they have not reported any data. So there is inequality in the world. The way the world is progressing, some countries are doing extremely well and some are yet to catch up a big time. Now, since organization, this event conferences are hosted by Serbia, I went a little deeper into Serbia dimensions. Serbia had a score of 75.59 and a ranking of 34 out of 165. Now, here are the 17 goals. Green color means they've achieved their target as of 2030 and they are making progress and they're on track. Now, let me come to the red first. The red means there is a major challenge. Needs to pay a lot of attention to that. If you look at the orange, significant amount of challenges on hunger, on health, on gender equality, on industry. And then if you look at yellow, means still there are some challenges around partnership, on affordable energy, on climate change. And these arrow means there is a slight improvement happening, good improvement happening, no change. So good amount of work still needs to happen on some of the sustainable development goals for Serbia. Now, wherever you are participating, attending this conference, you can go to this report and download your country specific statistics and data. Now, why am I here is, why am I speaking to you is, last 10-15 years, I've been focusing a lot of my energy and passion to use my knowledge on quality, excellence, governance, standards, framework to do good for the society through digital authority for people with low housing, economic housing issues, or people in foster children in alternative care with foster families. So what can I do individually? How can I take action? You can become a goalkeeper like this. You see this, there are a lot of people, individuals, who have taken a pledge on themselves. They made a commitment to do good for the society. Now, let me dive a little deeper further into that. I'm sure you have heard Dr. Deming. Every now and then I'm reminded of this quote: we have learned to live in a world of mistakes and defective products as if they were necessary to life. You see, the sustainable development goals are all about improvement. If you read at least at 100 places, you'll connect yourself as quality professionals. Just to give you a flavor, say 3.1, reduce the global maternal mortality rate. Reduce. In 6.3, improve the water quality, reducing pollution. Improve education, enhance capacity building, increase availability of high quality data, reliability data. You see, these words resonates to us. We understand them quite well. We have been using quality improvement strategies, our knowledge, our education. The conference, the organizing committee, technical committee has very beautifully articulated its theme. So it's all about education, learning, development, and making an impact. So these sustainable development goals are all about improvement. Just to give you a very small example, we buy products and service products. It has labels. These labels are still causing a lot of confusion in the world. Somewhere it says best before. It essentially means the peak quality of the product is is best up to that, but it can still be used after that. Maybe its texture or color or flavor has changed. So food is still safe to eat beyond the best before date. No need to throw. And then use by where it is, highly perishable item, let's say milk. Please use by 7th of July, and that's the day we should finish and not use it. So what was happening is a lot of people, about 20% of the household food got wasted because of lack of understanding on these labels. So this is in United Kingdom. They took this study to help bring clarity on the labeling. Japan did the same thing. I don't run this to YouTube clip. This is how data helped save lives in a maternity ward. They discovered the washing hands was able to help save lives. It's a beautiful 3 minutes clip. I request you to look at it. Now, what can I do? Especially, you can read more about sustainable development goals. You can download the beautiful app they have. Now, out of these 17 goals, 16 actually, 17 is partnership. You can choose one which you are very passionate about it, which your heart connects you to it. Choose that goal and dive deep into it, read more about it, understand more about it, and talk about it. Make the goals famous through conferences, events, colleagues, family, friends, neighbors, community. You can help influence policies at your city level with the government. You can help raise capital, financial support for the goals. I was in Serbia 2-3 weeks back, had opportunity to connect with Dr. Jovo, the president of the society. So there I came across Reebok collecting old shoes for recycling. I also met people from Unido collecting donations, financial support. Then I was in Zlatibor and they had a gathering. We had singers and local national dances, the Serbian folk dance. So I asked people what's going on, and they said they're collecting resources and money for the treatment and surgery of a young guy who cannot walk. This was just 3 weeks back. So it was very touching moment actually. Then you can help your companies develop CSR strategies aligned with SDGs. You can get them integrated into your business plans. I sometimes know through my clients, they want to do CSR, but they don't know what exactly to do. So I help them develop strategies and programs aligned with the SDGs. That's how you make a contribution. You can mobilize corporates, inspire others, collaborate on an ongoing project. Now, you can also go to very specific goal and see what I can do. Just for information for hunger, what is the consequences of stunted children not having nutrition food? You see, food is available. Sometimes the nutritious part of the food is costly. People cannot afford it. Still, affordability of nutrition food is a challenge. Don't waste food at all. Don't be embarrassed to get leftovers from the restaurant, bring it back home. Be careful in shopping and buying, cooking. Freeze the leftovers. Buy funny food. I started doing this after learning about SDGs. Sometimes the shape of the fruit is not good. It doesn't matter. It's still fruit. It still has the calorie and the benefits. Don't throw them out because of the color or shape. Consume local. Support the local. Because if I'm eating bananas which are grown in Brazil, the ship is bringing or aircraft is bringing it all the way to Dubai. I can save some kind of emission over there. So why not buy local or the nearest produced, and arrange excess food to be donated and so on. So you can also look at a lot of activity happening around the world. There's the SDG Festival of Action, there's Ocean Conference, Food Summit, Climate Action, so on. So just let's remember, by 2030, every goal must be met for everyone, people, planet, plants, flora, and we are gifted people. We know quality improvement, we know continual improvement strategies. Nobody knows it better. And give your gift of quality, give your time, give your knowledge, give your experience, voluntarily or involuntarily,